Hello, my name is Wellbrock and I'm a professor of Media and Technology Management here at the Wiso Faculty of the University of Cologne. My research revolves mainly around the topic of digital journalism. What we're most interested in is trying to understand or to better understand how companies and consumers behave in these markets for digital journalism, and our main motivation there is to help digital journalism survive in the digital sphere. We also do some research in the field of sports and media management. I obtained my PhD from the University of Hamburg in 2011, and after that I spent a semester at Michigan State University as a visiting assistant professor there. I then returned to the University of Hamburg as an assistant professor of media management, spent a year at home helping to take care of the kids, and then I transferred to the University of Cologne in December 2016. When we started here in 2016, our goal was within 3 to 5 years to establish ourselves in the field of digital journalism, in the sense that practitioners and researchers would know us and would like to talk to us when they have questions about the business or the industry of journalism. And I think we have, to a certain extent, achieved that. We experience an increasing interest from both media practitioners, professionals, from academics, and also from regulators in our work. And moving forward, we would like to continue to contribute towards a better working or a better functioning of the digital journalism field, in the sense that it will contribute to the functioning of our democratic society. And the other goal, of course, is to have happy and content team members. That's very important, and also to develop curious minds that strive for excellence in whatever they want to do. What has caught most attention so far is our research on the question whether it makes sense for the market to develop a cross-publisher platform. So, something that we already know from other media markets such as music or film in Netflix and Spotify, the question why that hasn't occurred in the journalism market yet, and why it still is very likely to develop and make a lot of sense, especially from a consumer and a societal perspective. What I find most impressive about the Wiso faculty is that on the one hand it's very diverse, and at the same time there is so much excellent research in so many different areas. So it's really easy to find researchers that can contribute to one's own publications or projects, or to just find kind of sparring partners to test your ideas with. And that's something both students and researchers benefit of really tremendously. And having smart people around is just really helpful in this job. And if you work, or for people who work in the media sector like I do, it's also a very attractive region here. You have many relevant media companies and also regulatory institutions that we've had the pleasure of working with. Well, journalism plays an important role for the functioning of democratic societies, and at the same time digitization has really presented a lot of challenges for the industry, that the industry itself, especially incumbent companies or legacy news media organizations, haven't really been very successful in coping with them. So we try to contribute towards a world where journalism is still provided in to a sufficient extent, or to an allocation efficient extent. And we try to do that in 3 research fields. One, we're looking at motives and motivation of consumers to pay for digital journalistic content or to support journalism financially in other ways. We also look at the question of how journalistic content needs to be packaged to be successful in the market and therefore serve consumers, companies, and also society as a whole. So does it make more sense to sell single articles, to sell subscriptions as we've always known it, or maybe a cross-publisher platform as we know it from Netflix and Spotify, for instance, makes most sense. The second research field that we're working in is entrepreneurial journalism. So we try to understand what drives the success or prevents a failure of digital journalistic enterprises, small entities, entrepreneurs, and startups. That is very important, I believe, because market entry barriers have decreased significantly in digitization, so that enables smaller organizations to produce high-quality journalistic content, while at the same time we observe that most of these startups or entrepreneurs aren't really successful in business terms. And the third field that we're looking at is media regulation. So we're looking at regulatory arrangements that are in correspondence with the new market structures in digital markets in the field of journalism. That includes, of course, the role of platforms in these markets, but also aspects like innovation policy to support ecosystems that are more innovative than what we've seen so far. There are a couple of aspects in academia and the Wiso Faculty in particular that make this job very attractive. And one is that you get to choose, or you have a lot of freedom in choosing the topics or problems that you would like to work on, especially topics with direct societal impact. The second aspect is that you are involved in the education of young adults, and that's a privilege and also a great pleasure most of the time. I'm most interested in the media part of the sports industry. So, for example, in the question what drives viewership for live sports events, or why do certain sports become media sports, so become relevant for media companies and the broader public and others don't, and also the issue of media bias in sports journalism or sports reporting. And yes, I'm very much interested in sports myself. I mean, I used to watch every sporting event that I could get my hands on. That was before we had kids, of course, but I still really enjoy watching football or soccer, basketball, baseball, American football, so pretty much all the sports that I used to also practice myself, with the exception of American football. Curious and excellent minds.